Most people believe they struggle because they lack motivation. They tell themselves they just need to feel more inspired, more driven, more disciplined. But motivation was never the real problem. Motivation feels powerful when it shows up. When it's there, action feels easy. You feel focused. You feel aligned. You feel capable of doing everything you've been putting off. The problem is that motivation depends on things you don't control. Mood, energy, circumstances, life. And life is inconsistent. That's why so many people keep restarting. Not because they're lazy, not because they lack discipline, but because they're relying on something that was never designed to last. When motivation is high, progress starts. When life applies pressure, motivation fades. And when motivation fades, action stops. Stress shows up. Fatigue builds. Distractions pile on. And suddenly, the same actions that felt easy feel heavy. This creates a cycle most people don't fully see. Motivation spikes. Action begins. Life intervenes. Motivation disappears. Progress stalls, then weeks or months later, motivation returns, and the cycle repeats. This is why so many people feel like they're always starting over, always rebuilding momentum, always trying to get back to where they were. They mistake this pattern for a personal flaw. They assume something is wrong with them. They assume they're inconsistent, unfocused, or lacking willpower. But the issue isn't effort, it's structure. Systems work differently. A system doesn't ask how you feel today. It doesn't wait for the right mood. It doesn't negotiate with your energy levels. A system decides in advance. When a system exists, the decision has already been made. Action is no longer debated internally. It's scheduled. It's expected. It's automatic. Systems remove daily choice. They remove emotional negotiation. They remove the need to feel ready. And that's why systems outperform motivation every time. The power of a system isn't intensity, it's repetition. Small actions executed consistently compound over time. Not dramatically, not emotionally, quietly. This is how real progress is built, without spikes, without burnout, without the constant need to restart. Most people underestimate how damaging daily decision-making is. Every time you ask yourself whether to act, you introduce friction. Every time progress depends on how you feel, you add risk. Systems remove that friction. When something is part of a system, you don't debate it. You execute it. This is especially important when it comes to wealth. Wealth is not built through bursts of effort. It's built through structures that operate daily, weekly, and monthly, regardless of mood. People who build real wealth aren't more motivated than everyone else. They're more structured. They don't rely on willpower. They rely on systems that continue running even when motivation disappears. They don't need to feel inspired every day. They need their systems to function every day. This is where most people go wrong. They assume consistency is an emotional skill. It isn't. Consistency is a structural outcome. When the structure is right, consistency follows naturally. When the structure is missing, motivation must constantly fill the gap. That's exhausting. That's why people burn out. That's why one bad week can undo months of progress. That's why effort feels fragile. Without structure, everything depends on emotional energy. And emotional energy is unstable. With structure, progress becomes resilient. Systems don't eliminate difficulty. They eliminate indecision. They allow progress to continue through bad days, low energy, and external pressure. They make progress survivable. This is the difference between short-term effort and long-term momentum. Short-term effort feels intense. Long-term momentum feels boring. But boring is reliable. Reliable is powerful. Most people don't need more inspiration. They need fewer decisions. They don't need stronger motivation. They need systems that reduce reliance on motivation. They need fewer moments where progress is optional. They need fewer restarts. They need structure. This way of thinking is the foundation behind Partner to Wealth. PTW isn't built around hype, urgency, or emotional pressure. It's built around the idea that predictable results come from predictable systems. The goal isn't to push people to act faster. It's to help them stop restarting. Most people have already tried acting fast. They've already tried pushing harder. They've already tried motivation-based approaches. What they haven't tried is building systems that carry them forward quietly. When someone understands this shift, something changes. They stop asking how to stay motivated, and they start asking what structure makes progress inevitable. That question is powerful, because once you start thinking in systems, you stop blaming yourself for inconsistency. You stop relying on emotional energy. You stop waiting for the right moment. You begin building something stable. Systems don't promise overnight results. They promise durability. They create progress you can return to after interruptions, after setbacks, after missed days. This is why systems are forgiving. They don't collapse because of one mistake. They don't punish inconsistency with total failure. They keep running. That's how compounding actually works. Not through perfection, through continuity. Most people quit because progress feels fragile. They feel like one mistake ruins everything. Systems remove that fear. When structure exists, progress resumes automatically. There's no emotional restart required. This is especially important in wealth building, because wealth is not linear. It requires staying in motion longer than motivation can last. People who succeed financially aren't immune to doubt. They're immune to indecision. Their systems keep moving even when confidence wavers. This is why motivation is such a poor foundation. It's unreliable under pressure. It disappears when life becomes complicated. Systems are designed for pressure. They expect it. That's the difference. If you felt stuck, inconsistent, or frustrated with yourself, there's nothing wrong with you. You weren't broken. You were just given the wrong tool. Motivation fades. Systems compound. And once structure is in place, progress stops being optional.